Hello, welcome back. This is the Alvarez Sports Podcast. My name is Gogo, and we're going to start off with talking about some NFL news. So, the tampering period for free agency has opened up today, and so far it's been very, very crazy where teams are overpaying, and some teams are just letting their free agents hit the market and letting other teams sign their old players. That's just the way the business goes. So I'm going to start with news from last week. So Max Crosby signed an extension to stay with the Raiders. Good on the Raiders to get him done. Um, Max deserves every amount of money he can get from. Well, he deserves a contract. Um, for $35 million for the Raiders to sign him was pretty cheap. Um, Max has come a long way from his alcohol abuse and all that stuff. So congratulations. He's the face of that franchise, so for them to sign him, that was good on their part. Get it done. Don't have to wait an extra don't have to wait till training camp to say, all right, let's go to sign you, or he's gonna show up to training camp, or he's not gonna show up, and by the season starts, you don't want him not to be signed yet. You don't want a situation like the Cowboys where the Cowboys pretty much signed Dak Prescott a game before game before the season started. You don't want a situation like that because player's probably not going to be shape. He's probably not going to be in football shape, and he might get hurt. So good on Max. Well deserved. Well deserved. Myles Garrett. This would surprise me. This would surprise me because he wrote a letter stating that he wanted to be traded out of Cleveland. So for him to sign his deal, he got a contract worth $40 million a year. So it's surprising because, like I said, he wrote a letter to the team saying, "I want out of here. I don't want nothing to do with this anymore. I can't win a Super Bowl here," and he signs that deal. Which I did agree with him when he did write that letter, only because Deshaun Watson hasn't lived up to the hype of that contract, and that quarterback is killing that team, and there's no way out of it because the owner approved that massive deal, and I'm surprised he's coming back. Honestly, like, man, I thought he would just reject that money, go sign somebody else somewhere else where he can probably get the same. He would probably get the same amount of money, and he would probably have a better quarterback. But he decided to stay in Cleveland, Ohio, which I don't, you know, it is what it is. Uh, Geno Smith. Geno Smith is heading to the Raiders. The Raiders sent a third round pick to the Seahawks. Raiders finally got their bridge quarterback. Probably maybe gonna play at least 1 or 2 seasons with the Raiders. I imagine the Raiders will probably draft a quarterback. I don't think the rookie quarterback will start. He might just be on the bench for a good 2 years, and hopefully he can become a full time starter. But good on Geno. Very weird how it ended with Seattle. I mean, I don't know if it was weird, but it's just I guess Geno wanted more money. Seahawks didn't want to give him money, and you know, that's just the way the NFL business is. And with the Seahawks trading Geno, they ended up signing Sam Darnold today, which I don't think there's a huge difference between. Well, I guess the only difference between Sam Darnold and Geno is one is younger and the other one's older. But Sam hasn't. Sam had one good season last year, and the very end of the season, it was a little bit. He looked like Sam Darnold again. He was seeing ghosts, and it's just I don't. I don't think he's worth the amount of money I think he's going to be making close to $40 million a year, which for one good season he has played, I don't think is worth it. I don't think it's worth the risk, and the old line of the Seahawks has been destroyed. They need to rebuild that offensive line, and they're probably gonna need to acquire new wide receivers or draft new wide receivers because DK Metcalf is out. Tyler Lockett was released last week, and DK is heading to the Steelers, which I'll get to that real quick. But yeah, Sam Darnold's not going to have the same talent as what he had in the Vikings, where in the Vikings he had Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Aaron Jones. I guess it was a good, decent offensive line, but for some reason that Rams game versus the Vikings, they just did not look good. It was just terrible, and he was just seeing ghosts. But yeah, okay. DK Metcalf is heading to the Steelers. Now I thought DK would go to the Chargers, maybe the Rams. I wasn't sure. I don't think the Seahawks were going to do an in division trade, but I thought he would go to the Chargers because he was looking for a competitive team, and I guess he was looking for a warm area to play. So I thought he was going to the Chargers, but he went to the Steelers, which is interesting because Steelers don't have a quarterback, and it's cold weather. So that was interesting for me. Like I thought he would, I thought he was suited better for Justin Herbert, and he goes to Steelers, and I don't know who the Steelers going to sign, but maybe Rodgers or stick back with Russell. But I don't think they like how that season ended with Russell. So DK did get his $30 million. That was one thing he did want, so he did get his 30. Seattle did get a second round pick, so they have a third from Raiders, a second from the Steelers. So they're accumulating draft picks. So good for them on stocking up. Hopefully with those picks, they can acquire some offensive line and some wide receivers. Hopefully, it's not. Sometimes they don't do that, but that's how the cookie crumbles. Devontae Adams signs with the Rams. This one's really interesting because Cooper Kupp is about to be released. I guess Adam Schefter reported that Cooper Kupp will be released. So I guess Devontae Adams is the replacement for Cooper Kupp. I would say this. I think with the Rams having a young defense, and that young defense was looking really, really good at the end of the season and in the playoffs. They almost beat the Eagles. And adding Devontae Adams to that offense with Puka Nacua and Williams and Matthew, I think you can throw them in the bubble where they can be a Super Bowl contender. Just having Adams there, I think that takes them over the hump. But that team is going to be fun to watch next season. I can't wait to watch them. Justin Fields, this one's really, really. I guess I thought he was going to stay with the Steelers. I really thought, but he ends up going to the Jets. I didn't really think he was going to leave Mike Tomlin to go to the Jets, and the Jets is one very interesting team where I don't think he's gonna last long. Honestly, I think that was a bad decision by him to go up there, but I do get it. He did go up there for the money, but I don't think he's gonna last long up there. And if it goes bad, the media is gonna eat him alive. And yeah, I don't even know if you're a Jets fan if you should be excited or you should just hey, we got a new quarterback, let's go. But I think Rodgers was better quarterback, but that's for another day. Aaron Rodgers. This one's interesting because there's 3 teams: the Giants, the Steelers, and the Vikings. The Giants, you do have Malik Neighbors and you have Tracy, which, it's a good. It's not Saquon, but it's a good. You do have a good wide receiver, but not a top running back. But he is a good running back. I'll give him that. He is a good running back. Offensive line is okay, shaky at best. Defense is okay. I can see why the Giants want to sign him though, because the head coach. You could say the head coach and the GM are in the hot seat, and they need a win very badly because what they did last season was not a good thing. That was just terrible. By letting Saquon go out, signing with the Eagles, Saquon wins a Super Bowl, and you have the Hard Knocks having Joe Shane, letting him walk. But that's one team. Maybe Rodgers would like to stay in New York since he's already in New York. That would be a good, viable option for him, so he doesn't have to move far. Steelers. I know for a fact he loves the Steelers, and I know he likes Mike Tomlin because he's been on the Pat McAfee show and he stated Mike Tomlin's cool ass dude and I love that guy. Blah blah blah. Now Steelers, they do have a shaky offensive line. That they probably it can get better. Running back, they do have a good running back, Warren. I know Najee is just signed with the Chargers, so Chargers got a good deal, and I expect Najee Harris to have a good season with the Chargers. But back to the Steelers. So the Steelers have George Pickens and DK Metcalf. So they have two good weapons, two wide receiver weapons up there. So I think that's also an appealing location for him. The only thing is, my whole thing with that is that if Rodgers gives the ball to DK more, I have a feeling that George will get mad, or vice versa. George will get the ball more, and then DK will throw a fit. Because we've seen them both throw fits on the sideline, or the other guy threw a fit on the post conference where he wasn't happy. So that's one team. The other team is the Vikings. If he were to join the Vikings, that would be great. He would be with Kevin O'Connell. He would have Aaron Jones, his old teammate. He would have Justin Jefferson. He would have Jordan Addison. He would have a decent offensive line. Probably can get better. A hell of a defense. I think with that team, you can also throw them as a Super Bowl contender. That team is very loaded, and maybe he'll take a cheaper deal to stay with to join the Vikings. Which, if his goal is to win the Super Bowl, I think that's the team to join. The division is going to be hard because you have the Lions, you have the Packers. I know the Bears are coming up, and the national media is picking the Bears to do something, and I won't buy the hype yet, but that division is super. If Rodgers would join that division, which he's already played in that division, so he knows those teams, but if him joining the division, it would be Rodgers, Jordan Love, Caleb Williams, Jared Goff, that division would be a powerhouse. That would be fun to watch because most likely those games are going to be very, very competitive and very fun to watch. So that's my thing on my 2 cents on Aaron Rodgers. What do we have? Oh, Broncos. Broncos signed Greenlaw, Tau Hufanga. I probably botched his name. Sorry. Broncos defense got really, really good. And living in the Bay Area, seeing these two, Greenlaw and Hufanga, these two defensive players play really good for the 49ers. And to see him join the Broncos, that defense is going to get so much better. And last year it was good too. But now they took another step, signed these two players. So Broncos should be somewhere in the top 5 defense. And their defensive line is good. They do have Patrick Surtain, which is another good DB. So I expect the Broncos defense to be somewhere in the top 5. And maybe they can get farther into the playoffs with this good defense. Hopefully, Bo Nix takes the next step to get that team farther in. But good job on the Broncos. Good job. Well, yeah, hell of a job. You guys got really good. Kyle Juszczyk has been released from the 49ers. Great fullback. Sucks that he got released by the Niners, but I guess I wasn't sure if he was hurt last season, but I didn't really see much of him last season. But maybe he can join the what they were saying. I guess Eagle fans really want him over there, and I guess if you have him and Saquon, that will be a show. and I know certain Seahawk fans want Kyle too. So that should be interesting. I think he should go to the Eagles. He'll probably, yeah, join the Eagles, brother. Robert Spillane joins the Patriots. He was an ex-Raider. He's officially an ex-Raider, but he was really good. If you watch, I know Raiders games were hard to watch, but if you watch Robert Spillane, he's one hell of a linebacker. You have to watch him. You'll love him. So Patriot fans, congratulations, you got a good linebacker. He's gonna give it his all. He's gonna leave it all on the field, and you will always be impressed by Robert Spillane. He's worth every penny you got. Good for him, man. Good for him. I was gonna hit on this. George Pickens. I know the Steelers just acquired DK Metcalf, and I said that if Rodgers or any quarterback that goes there, if DK gets the ball more, I have a feeling that George is going to lose his mind because he wants the ball. I know he wants the ball. And I feel like maybe the Steelers should move off of him, maybe trade him to a different team, acquire some offensive line or acquire draft capital because I don't think you want – I know Mike Tomlin's good at handling all these egos and all this stuff, but I don't think it's worth dealing with George Pickens and him throwing his hissy fits, or because then you're gonna have DK all pissed off and it's just gonna be a mess. And I don't think you want that on the football field. Laramie Tunsil traded to the Commanders. He was on the Texans. This last season, it wasn't good. Every time I would watch the Texans play, there was always some type of freaking false start happening, and it was always him jumping. So I don't understand. I don't know if it was he didn't know the count or he wasn't paying attention. I find it hard that you don't know the count. But yeah, his season was disappointing with the Texans, and the Texans O-line. Even with Tunsil going, they got to rebuild that offensive line for CJ because CJ ain't good. Well, we saw what happened to CJ. CJ was getting smacked. But hopefully the Commanders can, be more disciplined with them. Like, hey, dude, you got to focus. Like, we can't be having these pre-snap penalties when you probably know what the count is. So you got to be better. And I think the Texans acquired a lot of picks for him. I think it was like a third, a fourth, and a second. Third and a fourth probably this year, and the second and the fifth next year, I think. It's a lot of draft capital. So good on the Texans. Maybe they can use that draft capital again, build the offensive line for CJ. Keep building it. Browns traded for Kenny Pickett. Now, the Eagles, they got Dorian Thompson-Robinson and a 5th-round pick. Howie Roseman always seems to accumulate draft picks. It's just crazy how good he's at trading a player and then getting draft capital and then moving that draft capital somewhere. He's just so good. Arguably the best. You could say he's probably one of the best GMs in the NFL. You can also say Brett Veach is a good GM, but Howie somehow always accumulates draft capital. Like, that dude is just so good at it. I don't know how he does it, but man, I love that dude. He's so good. I hit on the Chargers signing Najee Harris. That was a good deal because it was like he can make upwards of $9.5 million. So there's probably a lot of incentive deals in that contract. And the running back, with Jim Harbaugh over there, he loves to run the ball, and so he does get a physical running back. And if we know Jim, he's gonna run the ball like crazy, and he's gonna make life easy for Justin Herbert. So hell of a running back, and he goes back to California, which I think he's from Antioch or Richmond, one of those. But good for the Chargers. Excellent pickup and a cheap deal. Um, Chase Young. Chase Young just recently re-signed with the Saints. Um, my whole thing with the Saints is you guys keep signing all these players, um, but your cap situation next season is gonna be a bunch of crap again, where you're gonna be in cap hell and you gotta restructure this way, restructure that way. Where they just recently restructured Derek Carr's contract because they didn't they didn't have enough money, or they were over the cap, so they had to redo his deal. So I just I get it. You got to sign players, but at the same time, you got at one point you just gotta be under where you have a lot of wiggle room and you could be able to sign some players. And like, it's kind of embarrassing when you see the Chiefs and the Bills, they're not necessarily in cap hell, yet they're winning all these games. Like, they're being productive. But if you look at the Saints, they haven't won jack squat, and you guys have given so much money to players, and it's just ridiculous. So that's my thing on the Saints. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna go far anyways in the division. Derek is probably gonna get hurt, or something's gonna happen, or Derek will be benched and he'll probably get mad or some crap. Byron Murphy. I thought he was going maybe to a different team, but it just came out he signed a monster deal to stay with the Vikings. Good on the Vikings. Keep saying it. The Vikings defense is good, and they keep their gem, their Byron Murphy, with them, so that's good for them. Good for them. That team's still loaded. And I still think Rodgers should join them, but Shador Sanders, he was pretty much getting hated on by some anonymous quarterback coach or some bullcrappy freaking anonymous coach had said. This feels like the CJ Stroud situation where CJ media was saying, or some media members were saying, CJ don't know how to play quarterback. CJ don't know how to do this. Oh, CJ is stupid because he could have passed S2 test or some crap. He doesn't know what he's doing. Blah, blah, blah. All this bull crap. First of all, this coach is probably making all this bull crap about Shador Sanders so Shador can fall and probably end up with this team. Every season, we always get some crap where some media release anonymous. On top of that, this guy came out anonymous. Why not put your name on it, dude? If you're so if Shador came out cocky and all this stuff, well, put your name on it. What are you scared of? But the guy's probably doing it so he can fall, and he could probably fall in the lap of his team, and they can draft him and all this crap. Shador's not going to fall. You got the Titans. Probably Titans are going to take Cam Ward. Maybe. Or they go to defense or whatever. But next is the Browns. And the Browns supposedly do love Shador. They had a great meeting and all this stuff. And if the Browns, if for some reason the Titans don't take Cam Ward, maybe the Browns take Cam Ward, and he probably ends up with the Giants. The Giants have a good relationship with the Colorado Buffaloes. They have the front office of the Giants always, Dion has them go over there to talk to these guys. You don't think the Giants know Shador Sanders from inside and out? Like, come on. He's not going to fall past probably 5 or 6. He's going to go in the top picks. I get it. People don't like Shador because of his daddy, and hey, that's who Shador is. Accept him for who he is, man. What do we have? Oh, Cowboys. Here we go. So, Cowboys. My thing on the Cowboys. So, like I mentioned, Max got his deal for $35 million. Myles Garrett got his deal for $40 million. TJ and Micah Parsons Aiden Hutchinson's probably next too. So my whole thing with the Cowboys is you saw Max sign his deal. Why not jump the ship right now and sign Micah to $40 million instead of waiting so freaking late like you did last year, signing freaking CD Lamb late, signing Dak Prescott late. Like let's get him done because he's one of your top players on that defense. And so now you're probably going to pay him 45, which I think TJ will probably get the 45 million. And now you're probably going to say, well, now we have to pay Micah 50 million. But why? Why do we have to wait till you pay him 50 when you could have reacted quickly and said, let's get this done so we don't have to pay him so much and we can be done with it. But no, Mr. Jerry Jones says he knows what he's doing. I got it. And you guys are already in cap hell. You have to restructure Dak's contract, all this stuff. So get Micah done. Don't wait. Get him done. Get him signed. So all this can calm down and you don't have to pay him so much. Don't wait. Just pay him. Bengals. Here we go. Bengals. This one, I don't understand why you franchise T. Higgins. You guys should have reacted a lot quicker. Probably trade him instead of franchise tagging him again. Like, come on, man. That dude wants a deal. Why are you holding him captive? Just trade him to a different team so he can get his money. You guys can acquire draft capital, which should have probably been last season. You could have done that. Get draft capital. And it's just really, really annoying the way they operate their business, their football business. And same thing, Trey Henderson. I'm probably botching his last name. Same thing. Max signed his deal for $35 million, and the Bengals immediately say, no, we can't sign you for that. You're gonna have to look for somebody to trade for you. Which didn't Joe Burrow before the Super Bowl say, oh, we're gonna bring everybody back. Everybody's gonna come back. We're gonna figure it out somehow. It was a bunch of bull crap. Like, come on, man. And so you're probably not going to get much draft capital back because whoever's acquiring, I would say for both players, T. Higgins is probably going to probably the team is not going to trade so much draft capital for T, maybe a second. And then the team is going to have to sign him to a massive deal. Same thing with Trey. They're going to have to acquire him and then give him a massive deal. Like, you're probably not going to get the high draft capital you were expecting. But you guys should have done better. And, if you're looking at the future, well, you should be looking at the future. But if you're thinking like, all right, we're probably not going to be able to, sign these guys. Because remember, they still have to sign Jamar Chase. And from, I think it was like 2 weeks or a week ago, they were saying that they're not even close yet. So you have to be prepared. Like, all right, we're probably going to have to pay Jamar Chase a lot of money. Joe Burrow's already making a lot of money. So there's probably not going to be enough money. So might as well trade these players like the Chiefs have done. Where they traded Tyreek Hill, where Tyreek wanted more money. Chiefs said, okay, well, it's not with us. So they traded him to the Dolphins. Last year, same thing. They traded their corner because he asked for a lot of money. It's just not going to work. Those teams like the Chiefs, the Eagles, they react quick. Like, all right, we can't afford you, so we're going to trade you to somewhere else where you can get paid, where you can get your money, and move on. We accumulate draft capital. We'll draft players. We'll develop them, and we move on. That's as simple as that. And I think the Bengals just operate, I don't know, their franchise. I feel like their franchise is behind. Yeah. Let's see. Let's jump. UFC 313. Sorry, UFC 313. It was a fun card. I know people didn't like the main event. Well, some people felt it was boring. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was very competitive. I feel like both fighters were trying to feel each other. Yeah, you know, it was, I think it was, what was it, round four, where Ankalaev had Alex Pereira pushed against the fence and people were booing and all this stuff. But he's a wrestler, and what he did was smart. I think it was round four. Yeah, it was smart what he did, and to tire Alex. And I enjoyed the fight. I thought they were just filling each other. Like I said, like, I think there should be a rematch though. I think there will be a rematch. I think Dana was saying that there will be a rematch for that fight. So, and Alex did get rocked. I think it was what, round two. I think he got rocked in round two, where he took. Yeah, he got rocked, and he got saved by the bell, because if the round did not end, I think he would have been done right there. But Uncle Aya did his job. Alex did struggle. He did defend the takedown good. He did that, but it seems like he struggled fighting off his back foot, and so maybe he'll go back, get that, you know, get fix some stuff he missed, and probably the next time we get a rematch, it'll probably be different, or maybe Uncle Aya will figure out some things to get him to the ground. But other than that, I think if there's a rematch, I think the second fight will probably be better than the first fight. But I'm not gonna say it was boring. I enjoyed it. Justin Gaethje versus Faziev. This fight was really, really good. I enjoyed it too. Um, for Faziev to join the match, I think it was like 10 days before the card. Hell of a fight. Justin did drop him with the uppercut, and I thought that was it. I thought he was gonna, he did curl up, but for him to get up eventually and go at it again, man, props to Faziev. And Justin Gaethje did look good. His chin looked good. I was concerned about his chin, because you get knocked out and you fight again, and sometimes your chin is not the same. And like Volkanovski, when he got knocked out by Islam, then he went to go fight Topuria and he got knocked out again. I was expecting something like that, but good job on Gaethje. He's still good. Probably will get a title shot. He's still ranked number 3. Well deserved. Good job for him. Rufy got a really nice freaking KO. I loved it. That was really nice. Good on him. He's getting better. Probably be on another pay-per-view, which he deserves. Give him the next fight. I don't. Maybe fighters above him don't want to fight him, but he's really good, and everyone should watch Rufy. That dude is good. I was reading something. Oh, Bivol versus Benavidez. Supposedly PBC and Matchroom are talking that they're trying to make a fight deal, and Mr. Dan Rayfield saying that they're not even close. Like they still have a long way to go. So hopefully we can give that deal done. Hopefully. They're saying by summertime. I feel like summertime is still early, but we'll see. Maybe October, maybe somewhere around there, around September, somewhere. And then, so hopefully that gets done. I was going to say, Uncle Dana and Uncle Turkey making their own boxing promotion, which I'm all for it. I think in boxing there should be only a one belt system, and like UFC, where you don't have all these stupid 4 belts and and you have to wait for the belt, blah blah, and all these politics. Well, like Canelo holding the belt, or right now, I think Virgil Ortiz is complaining about Terrence Crawford holding the belt. He wants to fight for a belt, but that's what I'm saying. Like, let's just go with the one belt system where we don't have to deal with this BS anymore. Like, you fight, you have rankings, and it's just easier to deal with. Like, boxing is, no offense, but it's slowly dying the way the product is going. I know Canelo puts up good numbers. Well, he's probably one of him, Benavidez, and Terrence put up good numbers, but they have to adapt, and I think by adapting, they should adapt the UFC model where the product will be better, where fighters will fight each other, and it will be better. Especially if Uncle Dana's running the show, which Dana takes that stuff seriously, and he wants a good product. He doesn't want something crappy. You don't want some cherry pick fighters, and just fight based on your rankings and move up the ladder, and you will get your title shot and move on. If you don't get it, if you don't lose, then you take a L. That's part of the sport. Unfortunately, you're never going to have a freaking undefeated record. That's not realistic. I mean, it is if you're Floyd Mayweather, I guess. But at least you could say, hey, I fought the best. I might have taken the L, but it's okay. That's part of the sport. You learn, you move on. You might get a rematch. You get the rematch, you probably will beat him. Just like Conor McGregor beating, what's his name? Oh my gosh. Justin Poirier. Justin Poirier's got his ass beat by Conor McGregor. What happened? The rematch. Justin Poirier wins. So you're going to have some L's, you're going to have some wins, but good on that TKO, I guess it's going to be called TKO boxing promotion. So good for them. Hopefully I think it will have success. Maybe there's going to be some up and downs, but I think Dana White will figure it out how to maximize that company. And that's all I have. That's all the news I have. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe. God bless you all. And like I said, thank you for watching.